Hey, hi guys. In today's lesson, we're going to see some verbs in the indefinite past in Spanish, okay? Remember, when we're talking about the simple past tense in Spanish, we have two types of verbs, okay? The ones that are in the indefinite past, pretérito indefinido, and the ones that are in the imperfect past, pretérito imperfecto, okay? Now in this lesson, we're going to talk about the verbs in the indefinite past and how you can conjugate them according to the personal pronouns, okay? So pay attention and let's start. All right, so let's see regular verbs ending with ar, ar in Spanish, okay? The regular verbs are regular verbs because the beginning of those verbs are not changing, okay? Their beginning is not changing, okay? So just be aware that you have a root word and then an ending, okay? Just keep in mind that. I will be explaining that later on, okay? Also, depending on the personal pronoun you're talking about, okay, if it's a regular verb ending with ar, then your verb has to end with these letters, okay? Haste, o, amos, aron, okay? If you're talking about the personal pronoun yo, I, then your verb in the indefinite past, if it's a regular verb ending with ar, your verb in the indefinite past has to end with e, with an accenting letter, e in English, in Spanish, okay? Now, if you're talking about the personal pronoun you, tú, then your verb in the indefinite past has to end with haste, okay? Now, if you're talking about the third persons pronouns like he, él, she, ella, it, eso, then that means that your verb in the indefinite past has to end with o, with an accenting letter O, okay? Now, let's go to the personal pronoun we, nosotros. Okay, if you're talking about the personal pronoun we, nosotros, then that means that your verb in the indefinite past has to end with amos, okay? Now, if you're talking about the personal pronoun you in the plural form, ustedes, you, ustedes, that means that your verb in the indefinite past has to end with aron, okay? The same with the personal pronoun they, ellos, if you're talking about a group of guys, boys, ellas, if you're talking about a group of girls, that means that you have to finish and your verb in the indefinite past with the word aron, okay? So remember, personal pronoun yo, your verb in the indefinite past has to end with e. If you're talking about the personal pronoun you, tú, with haste. If you're talking about the third persons, personal pronouns he, she, it, él, ella, eso, your verb has to end with o with an accented letter O, okay? If you're talking about the personal pronoun we, nosotros, your verb has to end with amos, okay? If you're talking about the personal pronoun you in the plural form, ustedes, your verb has to end with aron, okay? And finally, if you're talking about the personal pronoun they, then that means that your verb has to end with aron again, okay? But now let's see a verb so you will understand these rules better, okay? Here we have this verb, to talk or to speak. Hablar in Spanish, okay? As you can see, it's a regular verb. It's ending with ar, okay? So let's see how you have to conjugate this verb according to the personal pronouns in the indefinite past, okay? All right, so here you have how you have to conjugate this according to the personal pronoun I, yo, okay? In the indefinite past, you have to say yo hablé, okay? I told you about a root word, okay? The root word, the base word that is never changing in the regular verbs, okay? It's the beginning of the word. As you can see, in all the verbs, they're having a root word in similar, okay? In common, okay? So we have able, able. As you can see, that part of the word, it's not changing in any of the personal pronouns, okay? You have yo hablo, tú hablo, él habla. That's the part of the word that is never changing in the regular verbs, okay? Now, the stuff that is going to change is the ending, okay? Now we're talking about verbs ending with ar, ar. So the structure will be the same in the regular verbs ending with ar. They are going to end with, if you're talking about the personal pronoun, I, yo, your verb in the indefinite past has to end with e, okay, with an accent. Yo hablé, okay? Now, if you're talking about the personal pronoun, you, tú, your verb has to end with haste. As you can see, tú hablaste. Tú hablaste. Okay? Now, if you're talking about the personal pronouns, él, he, ella, she, eso, it, that means that your verb in the indefinite past has to end with o, with an accent, okay? As you can see, the conjugations will be él habló, ella habló, eso habló. They're ending with o, with an accent, okay? Now, if you're talking about the personal pronoun we, nosotros, that means your verb has to end with the ending amos. Nosotros hablamos. Okay, nosotros hablamos. Then if you're talking about the personal pronoun you in the plural form, ustedes, okay, your verb has to end in the indefinite past with aron. Ustedes hablaron. Ustedes hablaron. Okay? And finally, if you're talking about the personal pronoun they, that means your verb has to end with aron again. Okay? Ellos hablaron if you're talking about a group of boys, or ellas hablaron if you're talking about a group of girls. Okay? So remember these endings. So when you will be talking about verbs ending with ar, you have to put the same ending, okay? Haste, o, amos, aron, okay? Haste, o, amos, aron, okay? If you're talking about the personal pronoun yo, haste if you're talking about the personal pronoun you, tú, okay? O with an accent if you're talking about the personal pronouns él, he, ella, she, eso, it. Amos if you're talking about the personal pronoun we. Aron if you're talking about the personal pronoun you in the plural form. And aron again if you're talking about the personal pronoun they in Spanish, ellos or ellas. Okay? So just be aware about that, and then you will know what to do if you're having a regular verb ending with ar, ar, okay? So let's go to another verb, okay? Here we have another verb, regular verb. I'll be talking about regular verbs, okay? Here we have escuchar, to listen, escuchar, escuchar, okay? And let's see how you have to conjugate this verb according to the indefinite past. Yo escuché, okay? Tú escuchaste. Él escuchó. Ella escuchó. Eso escuchó. Nosotros escuchamos. Ustedes escucharon. Ellos or ellas escucharon. Okay? As you can see, the root word, the base word, it's escuch. Escuch. This is a part of the word that is never changing, okay? Because it's a regular verb. The ending of the verb, it's the one changing, okay? According to the personal pronouns you're having, okay? So now let's go to another verb. Here we have to paint, okay? To paint in Spanish, pintar, 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 okay? Now let's see how you have to conjugate this according to the personal pronouns in the indefinite past. Yo pinté, tú pintaste, él pintó, ella pintó, eso pintó, nosotros pintamos, ustedes pintaron, ellos or ellas pintaron. Okay, as you can see, the base word, the root word, it's pint, pint, okay? And then the ending, the word that you have to change is the ending according to the personal pronouns you have, okay? With yo, hazte, tú, él, ella, eso, o with an accent, nosotros, hamos, the ending, ustedes, haron, okay, the ending that you have to put in the indefinite past, ellos or ellas, haron, okay? All right, so now let's go to this verb, to draw. To draw, dibujar, 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 okay? And let's see how you have to conjugate this according to the personal pronouns in the indefinite past, okay? Yo dibujé, tú dibujaste, él dibujó, ella dibujó, eso dibujó, nosotros dibujamos, ustedes dibujaron, ellos or ellas dibujaron. Okay, as you can see, the root word, the part of the word that is not changing, it's dibuj, dibuj, dibuj. Okay, in all the personal pronouns. Okay, and the ending, you have to modify them according to the rules of verbs. Okay, regular verbs ending with ar. Okay, hazte, o, hamos, haron, haron. Okay? All right, so now let's go to this verb. To color, color, colorear, colorear, colorear. Okay, let's see how you have to conjugate this according to the personal pronouns in the indefinite past. Yo coloré, tú coloreaste, él coloreó, ella coloreó, eso coloreó, nosotros coloreamos, ustedes colorearon, ellos or ellas colorearon. Okay? And now we have this verb to dream. To dream, soñar, soñar, soñar. And the conjugation of this verb will be in the indefinite past. Yo soñé. Tú soñaste. Él soñó. Ella soñó. Eso soñó. Nosotros soñamos. Ustedes soñaron. Ellos or ellas soñaron. Okay? And now we have this verb to hit. Okay? To hit, to beat, golpear, golpear, golpear. So let's see how you have to conjugate this. Okay? Yo golpeé. Tú golpeaste. Él golpeó. Ella golpeó. Eso golpeó. Nosotros golpeamos. Ustedes golpearon. Ellos or ellas golpearon. Now I have this verb to study. Study, estudiar. Estudiar. Estudiar, okay? Let's see how you have to conjugate this verb. Yo estudié. Tú estudiaste. Él estudió. Ella estudió. Eso estudió. Nosotros estudiamos. Ustedes estudiaron. Ellos or ellas estudiaron. And now we have this verb to bark. Bark, ladrar. 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 And you have to conjugate this verb in the indefinite past in this way. Yo ladré. Tú ladraste. Él ladró. Ella ladró. Eso ladró. Nosotros ladramos. Ustedes ladraron. Ellos or ellas ladraron. Now we have this verb to cry. Cry, llorar. 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 Okay, let's see how you have to conjugate this according to the indefinite past, okay? Yo lloré. Tú lloraste. Él lloró. Ella lloró. Eso lloró. Nosotros lloramos. Ustedes lloraron. Ellos or ellas lloraron. Now I have the verb to teach. Teach. Enseñar. 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 Let's see how you have to conjugate this verb, okay, according to the indefinite past. Yo enseñé. Tú enseñaste. Él enseñó. Ella enseñó. Eso enseñó. Nosotros enseñamos. Ustedes enseñaron. Ellos or ellas enseñaron. Now I have the verb to vomit or to puke, okay? In Spanish, vomitar, vomitar, vomitar. So let's see how you have to conjugate this in the indefinite past. Yo vomité. Tú vomitaste. Él vomitó. Ella vomitó. Eso vomitó. Nosotros vomitamos. Ustedes vomitaron. Ellos or ellas vomitaron. So now let's go with the verb manejar, to drive. Okay, to drive, manejar, manejar in Spanish. Okay, so let's see how you have to conjugate this in the indefinite past according to the personal pronouns. Yo manejé. Tú manejaste. Él manejó. Ella manejó. Eso manejó. Nosotros manejamos. Ustedes manejaron. Ellos or ellas manejaron. Now I have the verb to cut. Cut, cortar. 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 So let's see how you have to conjugate this in the indefinite past. Yo corté. So the next verb we have is to sneeze. To sneeze. Estornudar. 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 In Spanish. Okay, let's see how you have to conjugate this verb according to the indefinite past. Okay? Yo estornudé. Tú estornudaste. Él estornudó. Ella estornudó. Eso estornudó. Nosotros estornudamos. Ustedes estornudaron. Ellos or ellas estornudaron, okay? So here the base word, root word, that is never changing, it's estornud, estornud, okay, as you can see. Now let's go to the verb to kiss, okay, to kiss, besar, 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 okay? Now let's see how you have to conjugate this verb in the indefinite past, okay? Yo besé, tú besaste, él besó, ella besó, eso besó, nosotros besamos, ustedes besaron, ellos or ellas besaron, okay? So as you can see, the root word, the base word that is never changing, it's bes, bes, okay? And the ending has to change according to the personal pronoun you have, okay? Yo, haste, tú, o, third persons, okay? Amos, personal pronoun we, nosotros, personal pronoun you, ustedes, Aaron, and they, ellos, ellas, they have to end with Aaron, okay? Now the next verb we have is to greet, okay? To greet, saludar, saludar, saludar. And Spanish, okay? Let's see how you have to conjugate this in the indefinite past. Yo saludé, tú saludaste, él saludó, ella saludó, eso saludó, nosotros saludamos, ustedes saludaron, ellos or ellas saludaron. Okay, as you can see, the root word, the word that is never changing, it's salud, salud. Okay, and then the ending, you have to put it according to the personal pronoun you have and the rules for regular verbs ending with ar. Okay, haste, o, amos, aron. Okay. Now we have the verb to close. Okay, to close, cerrar, cerrar, cerrar. Now let's see how you have to conjugate this verb in the indefinite past. Yo cerré, tú cerraste, él cerró, ella cerró, eso cerró, nosotros cerramos, ustedes cerraron, ellos or ellas cerraron, okay? So as you can see, the word that is not changing, it's the beginning, ser, ser, okay? And then the ending, you have to change it according to the personal pronouns you have, okay? Alright, so now let's see irregular verbs ending with AR, ar. They are irregular verbs because the root word is going to change, okay? And also the ending, sometimes it's changing, okay? So let's see the irregular verbs ending with ar, okay? And Spanish. We have jugar, okay? To play, jugar, jugar. And let's see how you have to conjugate this in the indefinite past, okay? Yo jugué. As you can see, the root word is jugu, okay? Jugu. The beginning with the personal pronoun yo. As you can see, it's different, okay? They are not the same. The root word is not the same. That's why it's an irregular verb, okay? So if you have jugar, then it's like a sign like ding, ding, ding. No, it's not a regular verb. You have to put it as a regular verb, okay? So the conjugation of this verb will be yo jugué with a U, okay? After the letter G. Yo jugué, okay? Tú jugaste. Él jugó. Ella jugó. Eso jugó. Nosotros jugamos. Ustedes jugaron. Ellos or ellas jugaron. Okay, as you can see, the ending is exactly the same. The only thing that you have to pay attention is to the personal pronoun yo. okay? Because in that stuff, yes, the root word, the base word, is different, okay? Hug with G-U. And then the others, they have to be with just J-U-G. J-U-G in Spanish, okay? Hook, 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 hook. The only personal pronoun changing, okay? The root word is I, yo, okay? Hug. Now let's go to another verb, irregular verb, okay? Ending with ar, A-R. Here we have to paste, okay? This verb has two meanings. The first one is to paste, pegar, pegar, okay? And the other meaning this verb has is to hit someone, okay? So if you want to refer to hit someone, beat someone, and to paste something, then you have to use this verb, pegar, pegar, okay? Remember, it's an irregular verb. And let's see how you have to conjugate these according to the indefinite past, okay? Yo pegué. It's happening the same as with the verb jugar. As you can see, the root word in the personal pronoun yo, okay, I, it's changing, okay? It's P-E-G-U, okay? And in the other ones, you have just P-E-G in the root word, okay? So, with the personal pronoun yo, I, you have to conjugate it in this way. Yo pegué. Okay, the ending is the same, just like the beginning of the word, it's changing, okay? Yo pegué. Tú pegaste, okay? It will be pej, pej. In all the rest of the personal pronouns, it will be pej. It's easy, okay? Just like with the pronoun yo, you have to be aware of that, okay? It's with G-U, not just G, okay? Yo pegué, tú pegaste, él pegó, ella pegó, eso pegó, nosotros pegamos, ustedes pegaron, ellos or ellas pegaron, okay? So just be aware of the personal pronoun I, yo, okay? In that personal pronoun, you have to change the root, okay? The base word. And now we have the verb to pray, okay? To pray, rezar, rezar, rezar in Spanish, okay? Let's see how you have to conjugate this verb in the indefinite past, okay? Yo recé. As you can see, again, the beginning of the word is changing in the personal pronoun yo, I, okay? It's with C, not with Z, okay? Recé. Yo recé. Rec. Rec. It's going to be the beginning, okay? The root word. Yo recé. The ending, it's the same as you can see, okay? Then with the personal pronoun you, tú rezaste with letter Z, okay? Tú rezaste. Él rezó, okay? Z, 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 okay? Only personal pronoun yo, it's having modifications, okay? Yo recé, tú rezaste, él rezó, ella rezó, eso rezó, nosotros rezamos, ustedes rezaron, ellos or ellas rezaron, okay? Again, as you can see, the only personal pronoun that is like modifying the beginning, it's the personal pronoun yo, okay? I. With rec. Okay, so now let's go with regular verbs ending with er, er, okay? We're going to talk about regular verbs ending with er. Now, the endings of these verbs, when you are like changing them to the indefinite past, if you're talking about the personal pronoun yo, I, then your verb, regular verb ending with er, okay? Then you have to end it with the letter E with an accent. I in English, E in Spanish, okay? Yo, okay? And then your verb has to end in the indefinite past with letter E with an accent, okay? In letter E. Now, if your personal pronoun it's you, tú, then your verb has to end in the indefinite past with iste, okay? Now, the third person's personal pronouns. He, él, she, ella, it, eso. These personal pronouns are going to end with io, with an accented letter O. Io, okay? Now, if we're talking about the personal pronoun we, nosotros, that means your verb in the indefinite past has to end with imos, okay? Imos. And if you're talking about the personal pronouns you in the plural form, ustedes, and they, ellos or ellas, okay, in Spanish, then that means that your verb has to end in the indefinite past with the word hieron, okay? If you're talking about the personal pronouns you, ustedes, or they, ellos, or ellas, okay? Now let's see some verbs so you will understand this better, okay? Here we have this verb, to eat, comer, okay? It's ending with er, okay? So let's see how you have to conjugate this verb in the indefinite past, okay? Here we have how you have to conjugate it, okay? Yo comí, okay? As you can see, it's ending with E with an accent. Yo comí. And the base word, the root word, as you can see, it's in every one of the verbs, it's com. This is the word that is never changing because it's a regular verb, okay? So you always have to put com, okay, in every personal pronoun. And then the ending is going to change according to the personal pronoun you're having, okay? If you're having the personal pronoun yo, I, then you have to put yo comí. If you have the personal pronoun you, tú, comiste, iste, okay? If you're having the personal pronoun he, third persons, then you have to end your verbs with io, okay? If those are regular verbs ending with er, okay? Él comió, okay? Ella comió. Eso comió, okay? Now, if you're talking about the personal pronoun we, nosotros, you have to end your verb with imos, okay? If you're talking about a regular verb ending with okay? Nosotros comimos, okay? Then, ustedes, you in the plural form, in Spanish, ustedes comieron, okay? Ustedes comieron. And then, finally, the personal pronoun they, ellos or ellas in Spanish, okay? Ellos comieron, okay? Has to be the ending. Or ellas comieron, okay? As you can see, just look at the endings and remember that perfectly. So when you're having a regular verb ending with er, you have to put this ending, okay? Y, iste, o, if you're having third persons, imos, personal pronoun we, nosotros, hieron, in the personal pronouns ustedes or ellos or ellas, okay? Now I have this verb, okay, to turn on. If you want to say to turn on, in Spanish, you can say it in two ways, okay? You can say encender, but also you can say prender, okay? You decide which one you want to use. So let's see how you have to conjugate these two verbs in the indefinite past, okay? We have let's start with the first one, encender. Okay, the conjugation of this verb, encender, in the indefinite past will be yo encendí, tú encendiste, él encendió, ella encendió, eso encendió, nosotros encendimos, ustedes encendieron, ellos or ellas encendieron. Okay, as you can see, the root word, the base word that is never changing, it's encend, encend. Okay, and then the ending, you have to change it according to the rule of regular verbs ending with er. Okay, the endings will be according to your personal pronoun. Y, if you're having the personal pronoun yo, iste, when you have the personal pronoun tú, yo, personal pronouns he, she, it, él, ella, eso, imos, when you have the personal pronoun nosotros, and yeron, the ending yeron, when you're having the personal pronouns ustedes or ellos or ellas. Okay? Now let's go to the same verb, okay? Well, not the same verb, but it's having the same meaning, to turn on, but you just have to say it in this way, this other way. Prender, let's see how you have to conjugate it according to the indefinite past, okay? You have yo prendí, tú prendiste, él prendió, ella prendió, eso prendió, nosotros prendimos, ustedes prendieron, ellos or ellas prendieron, okay? So now we have this verb to move, okay? To move, mover, mover, okay? Mover. And let's see how you have to conjugate this according to the indefinite past, okay? You have yo moví, tú moviste, él movió, ella movió, eso movió, nosotros movimos, ustedes movieron, ellos or ellas movieron. Okay, see the root word, the word that is not changing, it's move, move. Okay, and then the ending, you have to change it according to the personal pronouns you have, okay? Now we have the verb to bite. Okay, bite, morder, morder, morder. So let's see how you have to conjugate this in the indefinite past, okay? Yo mordí, tú mordiste, él mordió, ella mordió, eso mordió, nosotros mordimos, ustedes mordieron, ellos or ellas mordieron. Now we have the verb to grow, okay? To grow, crecer, crecer, crecer. So let's see how you have to conjugate this in the indefinite past, okay? We have yo crecí, tú creciste, él creció, ella creció, eso creció, nosotros crecimos, ustedes crecieron, ellos or ellas crecieron. Okay, as you can see, the root word, the base word that is never changing, it's cres, cres, crec. Okay? Now we have the verb to watch or to see. Okay, in Spanish, ver, ver, ver. Let's see how you have to conjugate this in the indefinite past. Yo vi, tú viste, él vio, ella vio, eso vio, nosotros vimos, ustedes vieron, ellos or ellas vieron. Okay, as you can see, the root word, it's like super short, it's just a V. Okay, so that letter is the only word that you have to put, and the word that they have in common, okay? Then the other part, you have to change it according to the personal pronouns you have, okay? Applying the rules of verbs ending with er, okay? Now let's go to this verb, to cough, toser, 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 okay? Let's see how you have to conjugate this according to the personal pronouns in the indefinite past, okay? Yo tosí, tú tosiste, él tosió, ella tosió, eso tosió, nosotros tosimos, ustedes tosieron, ellos or ellas tosieron, okay? Now let's go to the verb to drink, okay? In Spanish, you can say beber or tomar, okay? If you want to say to drink, beber or tomar. So let's see how you have to conjugate these two verbs in the indefinite past, okay? According to the personal pronouns. Okay, let's start with the verb beber, okay? The conjugation of this verb will be yo bebí, tú bebiste, él bebió, ella bebió, eso bebió, nosotros bebimos, ustedes bebieron, ellos or ellas bebieron, okay? This is with the verb beber, drink, okay? Now with the same meaning, okay, but in a different way, tomar, okay? You have to conjugate this verb in this way. Yo tomé, tú tomaste, él tomó, ella tomó, eso tomó, nosotros tomamos, ustedes tomaron, ellos or ellas tomaron, okay? So the regular verbs are, the first one, beber, it's ending with er, so you have to apply the rules of regular verbs ending with er, okay? Now the second one, tomar, it's ending with ar, so you have to apply the rules of regular verbs ending with ar, okay? All right, so now let's go to our regular verbs ending in er, okay? Remember, irregular verbs are changing the root word, okay? And sometimes also the endings. So let's see the first verb, okay? We have the verb to put, poner, poner in Spanish, okay? As you can see, the root word is pon, okay? This is the root word, but let's see how you have to conjugate this, and then you will see why it's an irregular verb, okay? As you can see, the root word, it's not the same. It's not pon, it's pus, okay? So that's why it's an irregular verb. So when you have to conjugate this in the indefinite past, you have to conjugate it in this way, okay? Yo puse, okay? Yo puse. If you're talking about the personal pronoun, yo, I, okay? Tú pusiste. Él puso. Ella puso. Eso puso. Nosotros pusimos. Ustedes pusieron. Ellos or ellas pusieron. Okay, so as you can see, the root word is changing and also the ending is changing. Okay, now let's go to another irregular verb. Okay, ending with er. We have creer. Creer. Okay, to believe. Creer. And let's see how you have to conjugate this in the indefinite past, okay? Yo creí. Tú creíste, okay? Él creyó, it's ending with yo, with Y, not with I, okay? That's why it's an irregular verb. Él creyó. Ella creyó. Eso creyó. Nosotros creímos. Ustedes creyeron with Y instead of I. Okay, that's why it's an irregular verb. Ustedes creyeron. ellos or ellas creyeron, okay? All right, so now we have this verb, okay? To read, leer, leer, leer. Now let's see how you have to conjugate this irregular verb in the indefinite past, okay? So here you have, yo leí, tú leíste, él leyó, okay? It's happening the same as with the verb creer, creyó, okay? It's ending with Y-O, not with I-O, okay? Él leyó. That's why it's an irregular verb. Ella leyó. Eso leyó. Nosotros leímos. Ustedes leyeron with letter Y instead of letter I. That's why it's an irregular verb. Ustedes leyeron. Ellos or ellas leyeron. Okay? Alright, so now let's see regular verbs ending in IR. Ir. Ir in Spanish, okay? If you're having these regular verbs, then the ending of your verbs in the indefinite past has to be, if you're talking about the personal pronoun yo, I, then your verb in the indefinite past has to end with E with an accent. I in English, E in Spanish, okay? With an accent in letter E. Okay, if you're talking about the personal pronoun yo. Okay, now if you're talking about the personal pronoun you, tú, then that means your verb in the indefinite past has to end with iste. Iste, okay? If you're talking about the personal pronoun tú, okay? You. Now, if you're talking about the third person's personal pronouns he, él, she, ella, it, eso, then your verb in the indefinite past, if it's a regular verb ending with IR, ir, has to be with EO. The ending has to be in the indefinite past with EO with an accent in letter O if you're talking about third persons, okay? Now, if you're talking about the personal pronoun we, nosotros, then your verb in the indefinite past has to end with imos, 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 okay? Now, if you're talking about the personal pronouns ustedes, you in the plural form, okay? Ustedes or they, ellos or ellas, okay? Then the ending of your verb in the indefinite past has to be with yeron, 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 okay? So let's see some verbs so you will understand these rules better, okay? Here we have this verb, to write, okay? To write, escribir, 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 okay? As you can see, it's ending with ir, I-R, ir, escribir. So let's see how you have to conjugate this according to the indefinite past, okay? So the conjugation will be yo escribí, yo escribí. It's ending with I with an accent, okay? Tú escribiste, iste. Okay, the ending it's with iste. Tú escribiste. Él escribió. You have to end it with io with an accent in letter O. Él escribió. Ella escribió. Okay? Eso escribió. Now, if you're having the personal pronoun we, nosotros, you have to say nosotros escribimos. Okay? With the personal pronoun you, ustedes escribieron. Yeron has to be the ending of your verb, okay? In the indefinite past. Now, if you have the personal pronoun they, ellos if you're talking about boys, ellas if you're talking about girls, then you have to say ellos escribieron, yeron has to be the ending, or ellas escribieron. Okay? So the ending, if you're talking about verbs ending with ir, okay? Then the indefinite past, the rules of the indefinite past has to be that you have to put, if you're talking about the personal pronoun yo, your verb has to end with I. Okay? Tú iste. Okay? The root word, as you can see in this verb, it's escrib. Escrib. And then the ending has to be changed, okay, depending on the personal pronoun you're talking about, okay? Tú escribiste. Él escribió. Yo. Ella escribió. Eso escribió. Nosotros escribimos. Escribimos, okay? Ustedes escribieron. Ellos or ellas escribieron, okay? Third persons are ending with io, okay? And personal pronouns ustedes, ellos, hieron, okay? Hieron. So you have to remember that. And remember like all the regular verbs ending with ir, ir, okay? So you will be aware which rules you have to apply, okay? Now we have this verb, dormir, to sleep, sleep, okay? Dormir. And let's see how we have to conjugate this verb in the indefinite past, okay? According to the rules I told you. Yo dormí. Tú dormiste. Él durmió. Ella durmió. Eso durmió. Nosotros dormimos. Ustedes durmieron. Ellos or ellas durmieron, okay? Here the root word is dorm, dorm, okay? That's the part of the word that is not changing, the beginning of the word. Then the ending of the verb has to end according to the personal pronoun you're having and the rules you have to apply, okay? In this case, this verb is ending with ir, dormir, okay? So you have to apply the rules of regular verbs ending with ir, okay? So the endings will be I, iste, io, if you have personal pronouns he, she, it, imos, personal pronoun we, nosotros, hieron, personal pronouns ustedes or ellos, okay? Okay, so now the next verb we have is to open, okay? To open means abrir in Spanish, okay? Abrir, abrir, abrir. And let's see how you have to conjugate this verb in the indefinite past, okay? Yo abrí. Tú abriste. Él abrió. Ella abrió. Eso abrió. Nosotros abrimos. Ustedes abrieron. Ellos or ellas abrieron. Okay, as you can see, the root word, the base word that is not changing because it's a regular verb, it's abr. Abr, okay? Then the ending, you have to change it according to the personal pronoun you have and the rules that are applying to regular verbs ending with ir, okay? So you have to end the verb in I if you're talking about the personal pronoun yo, iste, personal pronoun tú, yo, with accent in letter O, personal pronoun él, ella, eso, okay, personal pronouns, imos, personal pronoun we, okay, nosotros, and personal pronouns ustedes or ellos o ellas in hieron, okay? You have to end the verb in hieron in the indefinite past, okay? Now let's go to another verb. To spit, okay? To spit means escupir in Spanish, okay? Escupir, escupir. Now let's see how you have to conjugate this verb in the indefinite past, okay? Yo escupí. Tú escupiste. Él escupió. Ella escupió. Eso escupió. Nosotros escupimos. Ustedes escupieron. Ellos or ellas escupieron, okay? So the root word, okay, the base word that it's not changing, it's escup. Escup, okay? In all the personal pronouns, you have to put escup, 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 and then the ending has to change according to the personal pronoun you have, okay? Now let's see irregular verbs ending in ir. Ir. Okay? So as you know, irregular verbs are changing. Okay? Sometimes in the root word, sometimes in the ending. Okay? So be aware about that. You have to practice more the irregular verbs than the regular verbs. Okay? Because the regular verbs are having like similar rules. Okay? But in the irregular verbs, the endings are changing and also the root word is changing, okay? So now we have this verb, decir, to say, decir, okay? So let's see how you have to conjugate this verb in the indefinite past, okay? The verb is decir, but you have to change the root word when you are like putting this verb into the indefinite past, okay? So the conjugation of this verb will be yo dije, okay? Yo dije. As you can see, the root word is changing, okay? That's why it's an irregular verb. Yo dije, okay? Tú dijiste. Él dijo. Ella dijo. Eso dijo. Nosotros dijimos. Ustedes dijeron. Ellos or ellas dijeron. Okay, so you have to pay attention to the irregular verbs because you have to change like some parts, okay, of the verb. Now let's go to another irregular verb, okay, ending with ir. We have this verb to laugh, reír, reír. Okay, let's see how you have to conjugate this verb in the indefinite past, okay? Yo reí. Tú reíste. Él rió. Ella rió. Eso rió. As you can see, the beginning is changing, okay? Nosotros reímos. Okay, it's not stable, the beginning, as you can see. The ending, okay, it's kind of the same, but the beginning, it's not the same. So pay attention on that, okay? Nosotros reímos. Ustedes rieron. Ellos or ellas rieron, okay? Now let's go to the next verb, okay? To smile, sonreír, 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 okay? It's also an irregular verb, and let's see how you have to conjugate it according to the indefinite past and the personal pronouns, okay? You have, yo sonreí, tú sonreíste, él sonrió, ella sonrió, eso sonrió, nosotros sonreímos, ustedes sonrieron, ellos or ellas sonrieron, okay? Now let's go to the verb to feel, sentir, sentir, okay? Let's see how you have to conjugate this irregular verb in the indefinite past, okay? Yo sentí, tú sentiste, él sintió, ella sintió, eso sintió, nosotros sentimos, ustedes sintieron, ellos or ellas sintieron. Okay, as you can see, the beginning, the root word, base word, it's changing. Okay, that's why it's an irregular verb.